Hello and welcome back to Discovery to Daytona, the series where this European circuit racer goes to the home of American ovals and tries to win in their house, basically. And you join us, Season 1 of ARCA, down at the very bottom of the ladder at the Tide 150 in Kansas, a round that I thought came one before, just a couple of races ago. But never mind, round 6, here we are, and you join us after Talladega, which ended under caution and ended with us in 14th place. It was a rough race. We had some incidents, and I was called out after by a few of the other drivers, as you'd kind of expect. We did have to make some changes to the car. You can see that everything is 100%, but that's because I had to go out and buy new bits for the most part. But we do also have a new sponsor on board, so hopefully we can start picking up a bit more funding as we go. Before, though, we get into the Tide 150 here at Kansas, let's take a look at those stand-ins. I thought that we would have dropped after Talladega, but it turns out we have not. We are 1 point ahead of Jake Finch and 4 ahead of Patrick Staropoli behind us. But Isabella Robusto took the win in Talladega, and she is now 17 behind William Sawalich. We are a little bit further back, 34 behind Robusto. So we need to get a good result on the board. And this is an intermediate oval, so it's not going to be a case of running away in packs. It is going to be, I think, quite the tough race here. 1.5 mile, 17 to 20 degree banking. It's going to be a race, I think, that we need to really work to make places. A little bit like a little bit like round 2 and round 4 at Rock and back at Phoenix. But you can see we go all the way back to Daytona, the victory, and then a 14th, a 6th, a 21st, and a 14th. So we've done all right this season, I think, in terms of our results, coming in as a complete and utter novice. So we're making moves. I think I've said it a couple of times before that I don't think we'll be making it out of ARCA in one season, but we'll see. We might be able to give ourselves enough of a good impression to make it into truck for Season 2 of this series, but that's still a long way off, and Kansas is somewhere I've never driven before. Most of these ovals I've never driven, the likes of Daytona, Indianapolis, Charlotte, probably driven elsewhere. Even having the likes of NR 2003 and NASCAR Heat 5 in my arsenal, I just haven't driven enough of them, really, to know some of these places. So these are all steps into the unknown, which is why practice is vital. I'm going to go over and do that. The next time I speak to you, though, we'll be ready for qualifying for the Tide 150. In pit road, then in Kansas for the Tide 150, practice went really well. Second spot by the end of it. It was a one and done type practice affair as well. Hit that target for the sponsors straight away. This place feels fast, and I feel fast here as well. So hopefully we can translate that into really good qualifying pace and a really good race starting position. Let's get out there and get that lap on here in Kansas.
Hit your mark, stay smooth, and be aggressive where you need to.
Well then, we head round the apron to start our build-up to our one lap here in qualifying. This car felt super quick here in Kansas in practice, so I'm kind of hoping that we can translate that into good qualifying pace as well. Hasn't always been the case this season. I think we took pole in top spot in practice at Daytona and ended up last, but it really did feel quick here.
Okay, this lap counts, driver.
Just gotta nail these banked corners. The banking is really helpful. I guess the repairs made to the car as well have done it some favours to build up some pace, but this is a really short, it's an intermediate oval, but it feels quick. Maybe running a little wide into the middle lane through 2, but we will cross the line in pole.
Top of the board. Really, really good job out there. Super proud of you.
32.701, and I think that's our first pole of this season. We start on top in Kansas. What a time to get a pole after a couple of really rough races. That top 10 is finished up by Brendan Queen, William Swalic's third, LeVar Scott's fourth, and it's Lawless Allen, Andy Yankovic, Jake Finch, Cole Raz, Jason Miller, and Amber Balakayan, Isabella Robusto. 11th spot. What a time to pick up a pole position. What an absolute clutch lap that was. And we take pole. And it definitely is our first. It's our first top 10 of the season, let alone first pole position. It'd be nice now to see, however, if we can maintain it through the race, because that would be absolutely ideal for our championship aspirations. Let's go and get ready to drop that green flag here in Kansas. Hit road then in Kansas City for the Tide 150, and we are on pole. We run the point of this field to the green flag, and hopefully, I'm kind of hoping that we maintain the pace that we've shown through practice and qualifying enough to be able to just sort of break away, so we're not under threat throughout the entire race, because a victory would be absolutely ideal. We've really got to push to get a good result out of this, and hopefully that will then mean that we can really pull ourselves right back in amongst Robusto and Sawalic after a couple of pretty rough rides through Talladega and the Rock. I don't know. It's a different feeling being on pole in ARCA than if it was like at an oval, if it was a circuit. Because at least with a circuit, you kind of know, you can get to know where your opponent's strengths and weaknesses are. In an oval, it is just put down and keep it pinned and see what happens. Kind of hoping, though, that we can, as I say, maybe run away. So let's go and lead the field to green here at the Tide 150. Nobody in front of us as we head to the green flag. 25 laps here in Kansas, and away we go. Immediately, Brendan Queen is going to try and get a run on us.
Stay low.
We've felt fast all weekend so far. Tap the apron ever so slightly. Brendan Queen's still there. We're not quite drifting up as high as the rest of the pack, but this is where we've really had pace through the weekend. We can just rattle through that back end of the track or the oval, and they're running low there. Running much lower than I thought you would be, but never mind. Doesn't seem to give them any advantage as we get a little loose through 1 and 2. But again, that doesn't matter. Look at it. We're starting to actually pull a little bit of a gap. Let's try keep this pace up. Keep it steady. Don't let this get ahead of us. And take a little bit more of the apron line there. Quite the amount of lock through 1 and 2, which we do scrub a little bit of speed, but we're pulling away from the pack here. No change in the AI setting between races, trust me. We really are just having quite the day of it here in Kansas. The pace is with us. Maybe the repairs and upgrades, or kind of downgrades actually for a couple of parts, but the repairs I think have maybe done the world of good. Oh, finally feeling good. As I say, after a couple of rough rounds leading into this one, it looks, I think we've just got to keep our composure, but it looks like we could have a fairly domineering day. The Tide 150, it'd be our second win of the season if we can take it.
Ever, bud.
Got to be careful in 1 and 2. I feel like there's an opportunity there a possibility there that we could just get loose and get right up into the wall. 3 and 4 is this? As I start getting close to the wall, not as much of an issue. At least there hasn't been so far in this race.
20 to go.
A long way to go. No matter how quick these races are, driving them, you do feel like there's an eternity. Debated in my head at the start of this series whether we did 50% or 100% races. And glad we went with 25. It means we can tick off the reins fairly quickly, as I have to get the throttle a little bit through 3 and 4 for the first time in this race. It means we can tackle the reins pretty quickly and move up through the ranks, but it also, while it does remove the worry about pit stops here in Arca, as we get up to the likes of Xfinity and Cup, we may start finding that we do need to pit. But it does also mean we're not sat here for 4 hours at a time trying to tackle a full race Daytona 500. Which I have done before in other situations, and it is quite the undertaking to try and do. It looks like William Sawalich is in second, if I'm reading that mini-map correctly. Seems to be the class of the field for the most part, does Sawalich. Robusto starting so far down. If she's made up places, then she might be keeping tabs on us, but if she's still mired down in the fringes of the top 10, we might make some good gains here. Starting to close up to the back of the pack. I've experienced lap traffic before this season, but at the much tighter, much more tricky surroundings of Bristol Motor Speedway. Maybe though, somewhere like this we can take our time, take it a little bit easier as and when we get to them, because we are, I think, starting to get to them by the looks of the mini-map. And yeah, you can just see 40th spot just going through the banking at the other end. Like the next round is going to be a case of this isn't Kansas anymore, but we race here every week. We'd take a domineering championship. Wouldn't be quite the entertaining viewing, but would certainly make us look great as we now climb up to the back of Kyle Callow, who's in 40th place. So he doesn't just
outside
cross down to us.
Clear high.
We can get under that white line. Make sure that we're through. Hunter Wright is next. We do have to back off a little bit there. Thought we were going to go into the back of him. Don't really want to cause any damage if we can help it. At least then we can head into the garage and make sure everything is fixed up, ready for the next race. Again,
one outside.
Dive up the inside of these two. Steve Wright was one of them.
Clear high.
It might have been Timmy Hill there. We're carving our way through the tail end of the field fairly rapidly. Willie Mullins is next, and the man in 36th.
Car outside.
D.L. Wilson
Clear high if you
just
want
ahead of him.
Car inside.
Around to the outside of D.L. Wilson.
Clear bottom.
Eric Johnson Jr., somebody we've fought with a fair amount so far
Halfway
this
home,
season.
driver. One up high.
We'll cut right up to the inside.
Clear high if you want it.
Becca Monopoly 33rd. Just going to be rattling off the names as we go through, because as long as we don't
outside.
make a silly move as we go outside of Robbie Kennelly.
Clear low if you want it.
We've slightly grazed the side of him, as long as we don't make a hash of overtaking our way through the tail enders. We are a country mile in front of William Sawallich at the moment as we come to the back of Jonathan Rome. Rome? I don't know. One of these names
One
are
on the
names that
bottom.
we've fought with in other races
Clear all
this
around.
season where we've not had the pace, as we absolutely cut
high.
past Napa car. There's Zachary
10 to go
Tinkle.
this time.
Again, we have to just
One
sort
outside.
of get under that apron
Clear
line
high
to
if you want
avoid, but they were running it early, so I don't think it's too much of a problem. I don't know if actually that threw them off the track. It looked like one of the dots on the mini-map was on the infield. There's Trevor Huddleston, 27th placed man. Where's he
One on the
going?
bottom.
Oh,
Clear
we do
inside.
have to just back off
Outside.
and avoid the contact with the
You're all clear.
blue and highlighted pink car there. Might have been a little bit of scraping as we get to Rita Goulet. Yeah,
Outside now.
up and under to go through.
Clear high.
Absolutely carving our way through everybody here. And Reef is next up. We've seen them up
Car
at the
outside.
top end of things occasionally this
Clear.
season, normally in the super speedways, I think. Ed Pomper finished second to us at Daytona, has not had it all his own way since then, as we have to again come
One
back off
outside.
a little bit to avoid pile driving into the back of the orange and white car.
Clear outside.
I think that's a Reese's car, that one. Again, yeah, it does look like on the mini-map somebody's off on the infield, but I don't know if that's just a graphical glitch or something. As we get up to the back of Tim Richmond, 22nd and 23rd, they're having their own battle here, so I've got to be careful of
One
it.
inside.
John Core, the other car, as he does drift up to the outside. You're going to have to ride the wall a little bit.
Clear
And
inside.
we do. Again, a little nibble. Maybe a little bit of paintwork exchanged. Hopefully no lasting damage. Costner in 21st. I'm really hoping that I'll get to one of these guys and it's going to be
One up high. 5 to go now. Clear
Isabella
high if you want
Robusto, and that she's mired down the field somewhere. The field has broken apart. So if she'd had a bit of a bad start, then maybe she could have found herself further down the field as we get to Eli Falcon in 20th.
One bottom.
I don't need to
Clear
rush
low.
the overtake here. End up backing off just to avoid getting squeezed up to the wall. And the last thing I'd want to do is get sort of major lasting damage and
One
have
outside.
to do a
Clear high.
yellow flag restart as we're right up behind Takuma Koga. There's a
Outside.
little nibble
Clear outside. Outside now.
just as the closing speed was more than I thought it was going to be.
3 wide. Clear outside.
Brad Smith is next.
Outside now. Clear outside.
There's a couple of laps left of this one. It has been a dominant day in Kansas. As we're putting a second lap on Hunter Wright. And having to back out to avoid
Outside now.
absolutely smashing into the 95.
Clear, clear.
The other Smith on the grid, David. Where's he going?
One
There
up
he goes.
high. 2 to go this time now.
Up and under
Clear,
the
clear.
line. 2 to go. Sawallic is miles behind.
1 on the bottom.
That's a long way past Steve Lewis.
Clear inside.
We're going to reach the white flag, and we're well on our way to our second victory of this season. It means we've won on an intermediate oval and a super
flag.
speedway.
1 high.
Alex Clubb came down
Clear up top.
the banking, but we avoided him. If we can find a
Outside
way to
now.
win on a short track and
Clear up top.
on a road course this season, we would have ticked off all 4 different types
1 on the bottom.
of
Far
NASCAR
outside.
environment.
Clear inside.
We'll follow Eric Johnson Jr. over the line, but win
Amazing win.
in
You just
Kansas.
never cease to amaze us, driver.
Didn't fall off the front for a single lap. Take our second win of the season at the Tide 150 here in Kansas. Take the celebrations as well. An easy victory, 11 seconds clear of Brendan Queen, who took second in the end ahead of William Sawallic. It looks like Brendan might have used traffic to his advantage. Lawless Allen's 4th ahead of Lamar Scott, Andy Yankovic, Jake Finch, Cole Rouse, Jason Kitzmiller and Isabella Robusto. Interested to see how many people were a lap down. Top 15 finished on the lead lap. We probably weren't that far away from Patrick Staropoli. But Brayton Laster in 16th is the first person to fall a lap down. And if we go all the way to the bottom of the field, I think there are a couple. With 2 down, yeah. D.L. Wilson, William Mullins, Steve Lewis, David Smith, Hunter Wright, Kyle Keller. All 2 laps down. But second in Brangus, pole position in qualifying, and a victory, a dominant victory in Kansas. What a way to announce that you're going to be fighting for the title with a performance like that. That's our second win of the season. Our 3rd top 10 finish. And the way that I have my results tracker set out, anything below 30th is coloured red, anything below 20th I think is coloured yellow, and then I think anything below 15th is coloured yellow, and then anything coloured green is 1st to 15th. And our result sheet is green, 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 yellow, green, green. So we're doing very, very well this season. It'd be interesting to see if that has elevated us to the top or close to the top of the standings. We're here for this championship fight. Next up, though, it's the ARCA 200 from North Wilkesboro, another venue I've never really driven, so it's going to be a step into the unknown before we go to the slightly more familiar surroundings of Charlotte. And then we've got Michigan, and then it's the Lime Rock Park 100, our first road race. It's just a few rounds away, and hopefully we can have a really good time of it there to really put a marker down and show that we know our road courses. But that was super enjoyable for me to just drive off into the distance. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. You know the drill by now. I'll see you for the next one in North Wilkesboro. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.